The Holy Bible is the most sold book in history and contains accounts on multiple people of major influence and wisdom. Some of these people laid the foundation of the Abrahamic faiths we know today, and is the basis of our modern day morality. Or just like how the kids nowadays put it, the Bible contains pure aura. I mean, come on. Moses has aura, Jesus has aura, and of course, one of the most iconic kings, the symbol of underdogs, King David. Amazon Prime is streaming The House of David, which is a fresh and entertaining account of King David. Season 2 just finished like a month ago, and it's safe to say that, damn, David got a dog in him. Now, before I dive in on one of my new favorite shows, I just want to clarify that I'm not promoting this show as scripture. As every episode said, this is for entertainment purposes only with creative liberties taken. So like the show, this video will just be pure entertainment. I'm not here to tell you how historically accurate it is or how you should treat this as scripture. I'm just here to say why I like the show and why you might want to give it a shot. Ever since I first subscribed to Amazon Prime, which was for NBA purposes at first, the show that intrigued me the most was this new show they were promoting called The House of David. Being a person that loves history, I thought why not give it a go, especially since my Bronze Age knowledge does need some work. And boy, am I happy this was the first show I watched there. Every episode had me hanging at the edge of the seat. Every time David spoke so proudly of God, I too felt empowered. And I honestly believe that all these actors gave their hearts out in this show. This show, and most especially when it's a powerful moment between characters, that gets me riled up. It makes me want to fight a literal war for God. I mean, hell yeah. This show also got me reading the Bible. Yes, I actually read the Bible. There was some time before season 2 was released, so in the meantime, I just went through the book of Samuel. I pretty much spoiled myself and read the source material. It's equivalent to reading the manga of the anime that you enjoyed. And I don't regret it one single bit. There's just something about King David's story that draws you in, making you invested in the story of his life. Both the Bible and the show managed to do this. With every episode I watched and every page I read, it made me understand David's character more, and I now realize why he's one of the most iconic kings in history. The show does have some inaccuracies and added content that were not in the Bible, but honestly it doesn't take away from the central message and theme of David's story. David's story is about overcoming adversity, rising to the occasion, being brave with fear, having faith, and inspiring others. His character really compels you to be the best version of yourself. In the show, he was a neglected child and soon became anointed as God's King of Israel. At first, no one really believed in him, not his brothers nor his father. The one that believed in him, though, was God. That's why the prophet Samuel came to his house to anoint him as king. Then, he gets employed by the royal family as a royal musician to aid the current king, King Saul, with his illness. David was recommended by Michal, Saul's younger daughter, and their love story is absolutely adorable. These two have amazing chemistry and work really well, and what makes it the best is that they're so wholesome. You guys cannot imagine how hyped I was in both seasons when David and Michal's relationship was progressing. Then I went on to read the Bible and historical facts. Yeah, different story. But don't think this is just some silly romantic subplot. Michal is super important to the plot. She's one of my top 3 favorite characters in this show. Her character complements David really well. And also she's one of the more, let's just say, normal people in this royal family we have. Like I said, David was recommended by Michal for his music, and I completely understand why. Michael Iskander's voice is breathtaking and an absolute blessing to anyone's eardrums. You can feel his devotion to God through his voice. It captivates you with awe and wonder. He sings in Hebrew, and they did say that they got actual historians to do the translations for the Book of Psalms, which is where most of David's songs come from. I love these songs, and I just wish Amazon would add more on Spotify, since currently there's only 6. Please, Amazon, release more. I want to see them on my next Spotify Wrapped. Please, Amazon. I beg. I got to say though that the best song is the one he plays when he first enters the royal palace and plays for King Saul. The scene had the entire family arguing and at each other's throats, but when David starts playing, everyone stops and listens to him. David then proceeds to do one of the most beautiful performances I've heard. You can feel the love for God he has in his voice, and it just resonates with you. If you're not yet convinced to watch the trailer or show, I ask to just watch this scene on YouTube. It's there, go give it a listen, and I promise you, you will not regret it. There also isn't just one of these performances. There are many of these scattered throughout both seasons, with each being beautiful as the next. Now, more on Michael Iskander himself, David's actor, our main guy. I honestly believe that he was meant to play David. I watched an interview with him and he said that after watching Chosen, he really wanted to play a Bible character, especially King David, and this role is absolutely perfect for him. His portrayal of David is powerful and bold with every scene he's in. His character just resonates with aura. Oh, and I'm not kidding, David is a badass in this show. His actor gets you in the feels during emotional moments, hypes you up to fill you with courage, and shows clear determination and conviction, which I just love. Chef's kiss. Great acting plus a great voice, it's absolute cinema. So I've already glazed a lot of things in the show, but let me glaze it some more. I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite scenes in the show without revealing too much information to avoid spoilers. Granted, the events in the Bible are more than 2,000 years old, so I'm not sure if it even counts as spoilers. I already talked about the scene in season 1 where David plays for King Saul for the first time. That's one of my favorites. Another one is with the season 1 finale, and it's pretty much the entire last episode. It's honestly the most 10 out of 10 episode that I've watched. It is the perfect David versus Goliath in terms of entertainment. When David finally arrives at the Valley of Elah in the camp of Israel, he witnesses Goliath defying the king and country of Israel, and even God. David announces to the discouraged and low morale soldiers about the greatness of the Lord and how no one shall defy the living God. This scene is one of the most powerful, but wait, it gets better. He is taken to Saul's camp to initially play some music, but he persuades Saul for him to be the one to fight Goliath. And oh man, this scene is literally a page from the Bible. David's lines are nearly word for word the same as the Bible. If you know, you know. Then of course Saul accepts him to be Israel's champion, and we get to see him have this absolutely beautiful scene with Michal. I just love this scene, man. As a David and Michal shipper, I was ecstatic. You bet your ass I was cheering with all my heart when they finally kissed and Michal said, "Kill that giant and you come back to me." Like damn, yes ma'am. David also proceeds to drop more aura when he refuses to use the king's armor and says, "I cannot wear this. I shall go as I am." Sheesh, bro. Okay. Okay. Additionally, we get a moment with David and Jonathan. I just love this moment because we see the start of a friendship that will be explored a lot more in season 2. Jonathan is another one of my favorite characters, and also he's one of the smartest because he realizes that David is the anointed one meant to replace his royal family. But what I love about it is that he lets David be and puts trust in him. I love Jonathan because in all of his scenes, there is a true making of a king and leader, even if that's not what God intends. He is the crown prince, next in line after Saul, but he doesn't put that above his faith. He trusted God in God's plan for David to be king. He's very different from his father. I love David and Jonathan due to their strong faithfulness to God, which strengthens them, even in times of uncertainty. It's up to you how you want to interpret their characters and their relationship, but for me, I think that there's a lot to learn from them. Afterwards, we of course have David and Goliath's battle. Before the battle, David gives a declaration, which I swear sends chills down to your spine. Like the persuading Saul scene, it also had lines taken from the Bible directly. Watching David during this episode, I was able to realize that, the Bible's tough. Not gonna lie, I didn't know the Bible went hard like that. After that, David defeats Goliath, surprise surprise. When David finally chops off and lifts Goliath's head, All of the soldiers of Israel were hyped and ready to go. Heck, I was too. It had the perfect music to go alongside it, with majestic cinematography and narration as well. For season 2, I won't go into it much since I think mainstream media and pop culture is less familiar with this compared to the usual David vs. Goliath story. But it's still an amazing show. I prefer season 1, but season 2 isn't far from it. The best scene here is when David comes back from attacking the Philistines after taking their foreskins. Yes, really, that happened in the Bible. His walk alone is woo! It's a threatening and terrifying walk no matter which side you are on. Seeing the usual joyous and innocent David give that death stare while being bloody, yeah, the game's gone for Saul. Pack it up, buddy. Saul literally almost shits and pisses himself when David enters the throne room. Saul originally tasks him to retrieve 100 Philistine foreskins. So Saul says, "Did you bring back 100 like I asked you?" David replies with, "No, I have 200. Yeah, it's over for you, Saul. Get the frick out of here. David is king now. Because this, right here, ladies and gentlemen, is pure aura. So yeah, House of David is a show with both meaningful and hype moments. While it certainly excels being a form of entertainment, it still contains the essential message and themes in the original story. That's honestly the short way to answer why I like the show so much. I believe that anyone can find enjoyment through this show. You don't have to be necessarily Christian or Jewish. You can learn from David's story and apply it to your own beliefs and values. Don't be afraid of checking out The House of David. It will definitely be worth your time. I actually have a lot more to say about this show, so if this video does well, I'm gonna be making a part 2 with spoilers this time. That's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other stuff.